Good evening, friends. This side Rahul Magan here is Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. Standing today on 25th September 2019, practically 2 a.m. in the morning, we are going to be shooting a pretty important video about a topic which is nothing but the basically the attempt which Hong Kong Stock Exchange is doing on the London Stock Exchange. So there is a lot of action which is happening on basically on the data front. While I am on the other side of that equation, the people on the I would divide this lobby into two parts. So the one part of the lobby is who is saying that the data is the new oil. Well, this lobby believes that the data will rule everything and they have their own justifications. I am on the another side of the lobby, and I have many economists and lot of well-renowned people, those who are also with us. We are saying that data is not the new oil. The reason being that oil is a scarce commodity which takes several billion years to make. As far as my science understanding is concerned, even though I profoundly claim that I am not a scientist, neither I have any interest in physics, chemistry and geography and biology. But my limited understanding in the science domain suggests me that the oil takes several billion years to make. And moreover, very important thing which we cannot deny is that oil is not everywhere. So we have region which is OPEC, Organization for Petroleum Exporting Country, where we have abundant of oil, and we have a lot of countries where we do not have oil, like Switzerland. Switzerland do not have any oil, right? So similarly, having said that, if you are thinking that the data is the new oil, then this is wrong. And another problem is that every minute tons and tons of data is coming in this globe. So today, while reading a newspaper, I got to know that 1.71 billion is the total quantity of the websites we have worldwide. 1.71 billion. While the rank of Treasury Consulting fixed income platform is, I think, 7 million. So out of 1.71 billion website, our rank is 7 million, which is predominantly excellent, right? Although long way to go, but still. And according to one of the research conducted by YouTube, which is in the public domain, that around every minute 400 GB of data is entering into the YouTube. I don't know how many servers they have, but if every minute 400 GB of data is entering into YouTube, it effectively meant that the data is humongous. While today we have the tools who are able to make sense out of data, but how successful are these tools? How long they would be able to resolve the problem of the data analytics? We need to wait. We got some success, while failures are also there, but that is different. Considering this backdrop, London Stock Exchange bid for Refinitiv. Now, why Refinitiv? Refinitiv already having the jewel, which is Reuters, in their pocket. So London Stock Exchange bid $27 billion worth bid to Refinitiv, and they wanted to buy Refinitiv. They claim that whatever 60,000 all customer Refinitiv do have, they are able to get that customer. And we also need to appreciate that London Stock Exchange, with due respect, that it is far lesser in terms of competence than we have CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, Chicago Board of Trade, and to an extent Singapore Stock Exchange and Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So compared to Singapore Stock Exchange and Hong Kong Stock Exchange, Chicago Mercantile Exchange and Chicago Board of Trade, like Euroclear and all, to be honest, that London Stock Exchange is not at par. And the problem remains, the gravity of the problem increases due to Brexit. Like today, I think the Supreme Court of London has said that the Prime Minister Boris Johnson decision of winding up, basically suspending the Parliament for a month, is unlawful. I am sorry, I regret that I have not read the complete what happened afterwards and where did the pound move, because nowadays a lot of action is going on, so that is why. So now the moral of the story is that London Stock Exchange bid about $27 billion for Refinitiv, while your so-called Hong Kong Stock Exchange bid $37 billion for London Stock Exchange. In a very first attempt, that failed drastically because the concerns were what is happening, unrest in the Hong Kong, at least the social front is concerned, which is surely impacting the economies. Secondly, the influence of China on the data. That is the biggest problem the Hong Kong is facing, whatever they are going to be doing. Being a Hong Kong company, we ourselves know that the entire data you have is basically in the hands of the China. But now Hong Kong Stock Exchange, they have not given up. Rather, they went ahead with one level further, which is they hired UBS, United Bank of Switzerland, as an advisor in that deal. They hired the US boutique firm, which is Moelis and Corporation, in that deal. HSBC is also going to advise basically Hong Kong Stock Exchange about the possible bid. But according to me, the major issue is that if they are able to convince London Stock Exchange that Refinitiv is not either their cup of tea, or spending $27 billion on the Refinitiv not make any sense, I think that is somewhere the winning point is. But I don't know whether all these three boys like UBS, US the boutique firm, and HSBC, whether they would be able to get this done or not. This is one part of the story. Another part of the story is that, according to me, rather than spending $37 billion on buying London Stock Exchange, Hong Kong Stock Exchange should increase the liquidity in the system, which includes a non-deliverable product, which includes non-deliverable futures, non-deliverable options, and there is a hell lot of instrument. I strongly feel that merger and acquisitions or amalgamations, or shortly known as synergies, which are pretty good, pretty nice, there is no doubt about that. But they should be done when you are best. Example, Google. Google also acquires company. It's not that Google don't acquire companies. Google do acquire small startups and all the platform. But Google is successful in acquiring because Google set up their name. We already had a video that how Google AI platform in Bangalore, alongside the app, basically the Google is coming up, and this app is changing a lot of stuff. Like basically disrupting the job space we have in India. Just like Amazon, just like Microsoft. Although Microsoft might not be a right example because majority of their M&A failed, and that too drastically. Now I think that rather than spending $37 odd billion, the same quantum of the money, if Hong Kong Stock Exchange will try and invest in the system internally to improve the infrastructure, to add new products like non-deliverable futures and all, this will make a lot of sense. So according to me, to make this video up pretty short, that Hong Kong Stock Exchange should not run very fast to get London Stock Exchange. Rather, they should spend this money to improve their own infrastructure. Because actually, in short, rather than buying London Stock Exchange, if I would be the CEO of Hong Kong Stock Exchange, I would love to beat SGX, Singapore Stock Exchange, and if I am able to beat SGX, then I think the business game is over. So I don't think I need a partner like London Stock Exchange to get this done. But still, this is the decision which Hong Kong has taken. I don't know how this shape up, how Refinitiv would end up. Refinitiv also control Reuters, and I don't know till what extent the UBS, the US company, and HSBC would be able to help Hong Kong Stock Exchange. But things are getting pretty interesting, as we have saw several large scale merger and acquisitions, but we have not saw a pretty good merger and acquisitions in the data space. And we need to understand that if Hong Kong Stock Exchange will get Refinitiv, basically if London Stock Exchange reject Hong Kong Stock Exchange proposal while they go with the Refinitiv deal, then it would be pretty interesting. We really need to think. I think on a data front, on a functional front, and on a technological front, CCP, Central Clearing Counterparty, CSD, Central Security Depositories, NSD, National Security Depositories, custodians, they all going to change. And once they go to be changed, it's going to be pretty interesting. We need to wait and watch. There is a lot of action which is happening in the market, but we need to have a closer eye. With this, we thank you very much. You know my mobile number, +91, which is an Indian code, 9899242978. You know our fixed income platform, www.fixedincome.global. Have a great time. Talk soon.